Now, today we are concentrating on tradition. I'm going to be making home-style Peking duck with mandarin pancakes. And what are you making, Emmanuel?
Well, I'm making my uncle Fernand rillettes de canard duck for the one who don't understand French.
I can't
You're gonna
wait.
love that.
You're surprising me today. Usually I'm surprising you.
Yeah. Well, I've already started, actually.
Yep.
What I do is start to cook off this duck for a few minutes to take all the water away. So I'm just going to drain this now. But because I've got 2 kilos of duck, I did one before.
Yep.
Now, what I need to do is put this pot back on the heat and seal the meat.
Yep.
So I'm put this
So no
back
oil?
in.
Just back because there's enough
No,
oil in
it's
there
just
already?
enough fat in there.
Yep.
And then this one here, I've got to make sure I've got no, that's it, no liquid in there. And it's going to go for 10 minutes. Until it's all nice and beautiful golden. And that's it for me. What do you like to?
Simple. Actually, I noticed very few ingredients.
There is only few. I'm very simple today.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to start my mandarin pancakes. That's Mandarin, the Chinese dialect.
So it's not a fruit.
Not citrus. Yep. So I'm going to start with plain flour.
Yes.
And I'm actually going to get some boiling water.
Can I ask a question? What are you using hot water for?
It's to really encourage the gluten because
okay.
the pancake is quite chewy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pinch some salt
Yeah.
in.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I don't know where mine went. So, hot water and 1 teaspoon of oil. That's just vegetable oil.
That's a very good color for me here.
Yep.
It's not really all finished, but you get a nice...
Oh, yeah, nice.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
So I've got about a few minutes. Do you need any help there?
No, I'm
Oh,
just gonna...
kneading.
Yeah, it just has to knead into a relatively smooth dough. And then we let it rest for about half an hour. And then when we turn it over onto the bench to knead again later, then we make sure it's smooth. So this time around, it doesn't have to be perfect, as you can see.
Nice. I like working with dough.
Me too. It's fun, isn't it? So it's, you can be quite unprecious about it. It's not a delicate method.
Now, I think by the sound of it, my meat is nearly ready.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to double check.
Okay.
Yeah. And it is actually beautiful.
Well, I'm pretty much done as well.
Oh, beautiful, nice and hot.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, so it's still a little bit dimpled. Just pop it on the bench, wet tea towel, and just cover.
And that's it?
Yep.
Beautiful. Now, what I'm going to do is put fat. Now everyone's setting me, oh no, he's the naughty one, isn't he?
The Frenchman.
Oh, all that fat.
Strikes
beautiful.
again.
Well, tradition, that was a way of preserving meat.
Yes.
We have to remember.
And you eat this very sparingly.
Yes, you do. So you just incorporate this fat.
Yep.
Fat. We're going to say it one more time. Fat in it.
Duck fat.
Duck fat. Then I'm going to put my ingredient in there, which is...
Bay leaf and
thyme.
Yep.
Pepper.
Salt.
Salt. And then onion.
With cloves stuck into it.
With clove stuck into it.
That looks beautiful, actually.
Now, this is going to cook for about 3 hours.
On
and
low
on
heat.
1 bubble. The lowest you can go. And it should go from the center.
Yeah.
So you'll see every now and then, bloop, a bubble coming up.
1 bubble cook, okay?
That's it.
Okay, well, I'm going to start the marinade for my duck. And to begin with, I'm going to toast some dry spices. So what we've just got here is some salt, a little bit of Szechuan pepper, and then 5 spice. Emmanuel, can you smell that?
Oh, beautiful.
So, just to reiterate, toasting spices, just make sure it's smoking a little bit and it's starting to get fragrant, and then that's ready. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start my marinating. Now, what I've done with the duck is I've actually scored the skin to get maximum crisp out of it, but also just to, when it's cooking, a lot of the fat will render out of it. Nice. So I'll just finish this process off. And you don't really want to hit the flesh, which I have at some bits, but it's ideal not to.
Not to.
And then I'm just going to sprinkle some of that seasoning over the top, like so, and on the bottom. And then in a bowl, very quickly, we get some ginger, smash it, and just nestle that in the duck. And then I'm just going to crush up some spring onion, just screw it up, and then just arrange it around the duck. And what we've got is some shaoxing, some soy, and then a couple of pinches of sugar. And we'll just let that sit for 10 minutes because there's a lot of flavours going on there, so just a little bit of time is fine.
Well, 3 hours later, the rillette, it's already cooked, nice and comfy, very slow bubbling.
Yes.
As we said before.
Yes.
I did remove the belly of the cloves and the thyme.
Yep.
And now, traditions matter. My uncle, who taught me how to cook when I was 15, because that's actually my first cooking experience.
That's fantastic.
He said to me the only way to mix the rillette is with a whisk.
Yep.
So, just going to turn this down.
Is that also a good indicator of how soft the meat should be?
That's correct. There is a matter sometimes if after 3 hours you felt like the meat is still a little bit hard, well, just keep on cooking until the meat is actually look like this. Now, there is quite a bit of fat there, and I don't want to cover your face with fat, so I'm just going to
drain some of it?
Drain some of it, but remember, that will go back inside.
Ah, okay.
Okay, and now gently press into it.
Yep.
Yep, see, it's all coming into mush.
Yep.
Just a whisk, it would just a perfect job.
Yep.
And when I was 15, my dad put me into my uncle's kitchen.
Oh, so your uncle was a chef?
Months. Yes, he's a charcutier, which is he make pâté, rillettes. And when you go in his kitchen, it was bubbling and smelling, and his presence and all of this. He was a very gentle man. He's 80 years old now. Since then, I was attached to cooking and never left.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's a beautiful little story.
Right, it was in your uncle's kitchen that you basically grew to love to cook. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to pop my duck in the steamer. So the water's boiling. And this is just going to go in for 4 minutes. Done.
Beautiful. Now, I'm nearly finished there.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
So, of course...
Back with the fat.
Whoa! Really good. Now, when you do the rillette, you want to feel then is enough meat compared to the fat.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And if you feel like it's too much fat, then it's nothing stopping you to...
Drain it again.
Take some off.
Take some off.
Remember, it's a peasant dish.
Yeah.
You have to remember, to me, it would be no recipe really. It's a peasant dish, you have to do it the way you feel, okay?
Yep.
What's important is the cooking. So now, this is going to go back to the bowl because I've been whisking and touching it, so we need to get that air away from it.
Ah, okay.
And then, when it's boiled, we wait until it's all cooling down. The reason why, that's because if I put this straight away in a jar, the meat's really hot, gonna go on the bottom, the fat gonna go on the top, it will separate.
Yep.
So what you need to create is the meat cold and the fat cold, so we'll stay together in a jar, which can be anything you choose, of course.
Yeah.
1960s, 70s, 1980s.
They're beautiful.
Anyway, I've done one earlier. And here we go, poof.
Oh, look at that.
And I did put a little bit of fat on the top for preserving.
Yes.
And that will keep in the fridge for about 7 days.
And that actually forms a nice seal, doesn't it?
Right. That's it.
Yeah.
And you know what? For the grand final, very good. Piece of bread, pot of rillette on the table, a few mates, a couple of beers, or a glass of wine, I should say.
Fantastic.
And voila.
I think my duck is ready, actually. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's good. So we want it a little bit rare still, so not cooked all the way through. This whole process of steaming before you fry is basically to ensure that, you know, the meat is cooked and you can get a beautiful golden colour.
Ah, beautiful.
And
I really like that.
You can smell all those spices in there. It's very subtle. So done. And we're just going to pat it dry. Beautiful. And you can see all the spices have stuck to it. And we're just going to dust the duck in corn flour, shake off any excess, and this will make it nice and crunchy.
You know, that's what I like about Chinese cooking. It's actually you're poaching, so you partly cooked.
Yeah.
And then you finish it off in the oil.
Yeah, because it makes sure that anything that you're deep frying will be cooked. So this is about the right temperature. It's about 170-ish.
180-ish.
Yeah, 180-ish. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm removing this.
Perfect.
Oh, beautiful.
So this will be about 5 minutes, Emmanuel, but the real Peking duck takes days. I'm really excited because I've been invited to watch Chef Chan create authentic Peking duck. Hi, Chan. So thank you for showing me this. I've always wanted to see Peking duck being made. He learnt this dish in China over 30 years ago and is now a master who's happy to share his secrets. Once the inside of the duck is seasoned and spiced with 5-spice and star anise, Chef Chan prepares his special syrup of maltose, vinegar and water. Now this is how the skin's separated from the flesh. Oh wow, it really puffs up. And that's why it's a little tricky to do at home. It's blanched really quickly, just on two sides, and that's basically to tighten the skin up. And then he's immediately basting it with that syrup that he's made with the maltose, the vinegar and the water. And that's what's going to give it that beautiful, shiny, sort of amber gloss and crispiness when it gets roasted. Hanging the duck to dry out completely for up to a day also helps with the crispiness. The final step is a special Peking duck oven, where the duck is slow roasted so the flesh stays moist while the skin turns amber with sweetness. Peking duck, a centuries-old recipe once served only to the Chinese emperor, now a food tradition that can be enjoyed by anyone.